At 40 years old, you're growing greater meaning with your muscle. I mean, most guys at 40 years old are still chasing muscle the same way they did in their 20s, and it might not be working. So today I'm going to give you 5 keys that actually help you build muscle after 40. And not just the muscle that you can flex inside of the mirror, but the strength that you can take with you into your body, into your mind, and in your life. Coming up on the Spencer Mark podcast. Thank you so much for being here. I am Spencer. I am a national board certified health and wellness coach and a registered yoga instructor. And I'm here to help you understand that it is not too late for you to make your mark on the world. And today we got a fun one too, going over the 5 keys to building muscle after the age of 40. These are ones that I've been implementing myself, and I'm running these by you here today. And I'm just going to get right into it here and start talking about these 5 points, or these 5 keys are going to help you build strength that you can live within your body. And you could take that into your mind and into your deeper meaning, because that's what we're all about here too. So moving forward, I'm going to talk to you about this missing muscle. The first thing is that awareness. And here I am in just like deep contemplation. This is even a black and white photo. This is serious shit. Okay, so we're going to talk about building a greater awareness of what's going on within our lifts, and then talk about how we can take this into other areas. But the science, what we're going to say here, what I've been looking up here, and this is just a PubMed article here, is that this mental imagery or rehearsal sets can increase your strength and help preserve it during any sort of setbacks. So if you are having any sort of physical pain or you can't get to the gym, what's just as important, and this has been supported by reviews across healthy adults and rehab people who have been in rehab, that doing those mental reps can lead to greater gains inside of the gym, even with the growth of muscle too, because of these things called the nerves. They will fire when you start thinking about these lifts ahead of time. And we just like to think, if that works in the gym, where else that works? Simply put, when you practice a lift inside of your mind, your brain trains those nerves that fire to your muscles. So your body learns the move before you can even touch the weight. Who out there is actually already doing this? Before you go into the lift, you start to think about how you're going to conduct your lift, because you want the best possible reps, right? Even looking into the philosophy side of things here too, Neville Goddard writes a great book on the power of awareness, where he talks about assuming the feeling of the wish fulfilled. Use this feeling first type of awareness to inhabit the man that you're becoming, not just the body you want, but with these reps, before you even get through the set, just understand that you will be forever changed. It's about getting that quality out there. So assume that you are the man before you even in doing these reps here too. That's the power of building that awareness muscle. I'm just as guilty as anyone too, just being on the phone a lot of times, picking your next track out, but taking your time to practice mentally, rehearsing before you go. Maxwell Maltz too talks about this in his book, Psycho-Cybernetics, of understanding that your self-image is the control system. Okay, this is the inner software program that the body then matches. So you change the inner picture, and then you end up changing the outputs. And what makes that powerful is that it makes it very simple. We can hold on really tight, right, to exactly the body we want and the health that we want. But it all starts with us having that inner self-image of how we see ourselves and our best selves, that all those actions become more naturally, and then those results, they start to change, and that comes with that faith. We'll get into that in a minute, but some quick coaching here too. You have a set 0. So before you even get into that first set, you have that 0 set before the lift, where you're practicing 6 slow breaths. See the set, feel the bar path, what you're doing, hear the cue word if you have a cue word, like go. Then lift. Just get into that there too. There's also this little bit of a meditation, even if it's 90 seconds, called Theater of the Mind. Maxwell Maltz talks about this. Imagine yourself going into a movie theater and you're watching the movie of yourself and seeing the tomorrow's training or how you are going to be working out there in the gym. And then just take one scene and see how that looks like, acting like the man that you are building. See yourself there conducting that lift to the best of your ability, and then maybe in juxtaposition, see where that type of perfect set works with you being a better dad or a leader or parent, well, obviously being a dad, wherever you want to grow. Okay, so this is what makes Rocky really powerful, right? Because we can see that mental imagery of training. See yourself as Rocky, and see yourself as even Drago if you want here too, depending on what type of training you want to do. Okay, so that awareness is absolutely key. Now, the second thing we're going to be talking about too is the anabolic resistance. Now, this is a real thing. This is your body's resistance to building muscle. But it is beatable. And you can push up against that, no matter how many weights are stacked on there. Okay, so what the science is saying here too, that with age, that the muscle's response to protein is blunted a bit. So in order to kickstart that, we want to exercise to restore the response. So anabolic resistance is a natural thing, but if we're active moving into it, we can actually get protein to work for us. Now, here we go with the protein. Okay, I want you to know that these are just what I've read, and I'm just giving you reporting here. Okay, but the protein plus resistance training meaningfully increases muscle mass and strength. So what the science is saying is that the effects plateau around 1.6 grams per gram per pound or per kilogram of body weight for healthy adults. So I'm kind of broke that down to you, just saying like a quick example of like a 200-pound man, what that looks like for pounds. That's around 110 to 145 grams of protein today. And I'd say that's on the low end. Okay. So everyone's going to be at a different spot. I would say these are for beginners. Okay. So then let's talk about leucine. It's a very important amino acid for building muscle. So it really matters for we older guys. And we're trying to get 3 grams of leucine, which is about 40 grams of high quality protein, is somewhere in there. And what that looks like is about 40 grams. The amount of leucine you need in each meal equates to about 40 grams of high quality protein, like maybe a whey isolate, eggs, chicken, beef, dairy products. And a quick cheat sheet, what that might look like for you. Anywhere from 150 pounds to 225. I couldn't list everything down here for you, but just say at a 200-pound man, that's I'd say the lowest height on it's like a sliding scale. It's around 145 grams a day. That equals to about 40 grams per meal if you're eating 4 meals. Okay. Now, Steak and Eggs has been brought to you by, subscribe here. This is Spencer Mark Podcast. If you're enjoying this so far, please. Thank you very much. This is my actual meal. Steak on top of 4 eggs that have been fried, a little bit of butter, and then some spinach. This one works for me. Steak and eggs every day. It's a great metabolic response for me. So going into it a little bit more here too. Remember that as you age, your protein, your muscles get a bit hard of hearing. Let's just say, "What? What's going on? Eating more food, more protein steak. All right." Lifting turns up that volume. So it's going to build up that intensity. It's going to obviously increase blood flow, and it's going to increase protein uptake and the whole protein synthesis, and really speed up your cellular, the entire construct of how the cell uploads, whether it be glucose, proteins, and everything else. So just understand that metabolic, it makes everything metabolically active. You're burning energy, you're building muscle. So eat enough protein and you're getting in the lifting. That's going to finish the job. Okay. So starter's target, I just want to put this here. Okay. Anywhere from 1.2 to 1.6 kilograms per day for your protein. And again, going into about a 200-pound man, that's about 40 grams per meal. It's about 140 grams a day. So build your plates around leucine-rich meals, eggs, dairy, beef, whey, and just anchor those to your post-lift meals. That could be helpful. And again, This isn't just the only gospel. Find what works for you. Start somewhere. These are just to give you starting ideas and to move forward. Now, the third thing, stress and sleep. Remember these hormones that we're dealing with, we guys, the T hormone and especially the stress hormone. We're going to be talking about that and how environment can build or break your muscle. And this is me out on top of Camel's Back Ridge and just soaking up the peace and the calm and the clarity right there, being out in nature. But anyway, what the science is showing us here too, just 1 week of sleeping less than 5 hours a night dropped a young man's testosterone by anywhere from 10 to 15%. And as you know, testosterone supports muscle, it supports strength and vigor, but more importantly, it really supports a man's mental clarity and his own mental energy and his, the thoughts of self too. So it's hormones a very important thing to have inside of your body, and we're dealing with an epidemic of low testosterone throughout the land here too. And you could chalk it up to environmental toxins and everything, but just that's the case. That's what's going on. So that, along with chronic cortisol, which is a stress hormone that it drives the muscle breakdown and it inhibits that protein synthesis, and your body goes catabolic on you. So not enough sleep, that's high stress, and then your body is breaking down muscle inside of your body, and then your energy wanes and just we start circling the drain. So it really comes down to really managing your stress along with your sleep. So let's get some sleep. Here's how we do it. Oh, quick. Just again, the sleep lowers your muscle builder hormone. So too much stress tells your body to break down muscle for fuel. That's just how we're built. So tips, okay? Right here. The floor for your sleeping should be at 7 hours. And what helps the most, I've done this too. Like, do you find yourself always trying to wake up at the same time every morning? Okay, that's already good. But what about your bedtime? Getting to bed on time is like the biggest key in order for you to wake up on time. So a lot of times we roll into a Netflix, a binge, and that sounds really good. And we think, just one more. Just one more. And then we don't go to sleep at the same time. The idea here is go to bed at the same time in a cool room. It's summertime right now. We got to keep it cool. And no phone in bed. We know this, okay? We know this by now. So a quick daily stress bleed. We're feeling those effects of stress. Just a 10-minute walk after your lunch or after your dinner. 4-7-8 breathing in between your meetings. That means that you're giving yourself a break before we roll from one moment into another moment. As we know, life is a series of moments back to back to back. We need to have a break in between those things, and having a 4-second inhale, a 7-second hold, and an 8-second exhale, that's going to provide a gap to break off maybe the old past experience of an old past moment before we can roll into a new moment. I know I've carried the stress of dealing with kids into a situation with my partner or my job, and that stress just carries over. We need to have breaks in between. Okay. So, number 4, it's never too late for older bodies to adapt, and we can do it quite quickly, especially with resistance training. So, the science is saying that older adults gain substantial strength and improve their protein synthesis, their uptake of protein into their body, into their cells. It also improves neuromuscular function with resistance training, even just short programs. As we know, your body is meant to adapt. Doesn't matter how old you are, you'll still do it. Simply put, your muscles can still get stronger at any age. No matter what they look like, you are still getting stronger. Not just your muscles, you're also your bones, and then your joints, your blood vessels, everything gets stronger because that's improving protein synthesis. And protein's not just for your muscles, that includes all the cells and tissues inside of your body. So if you train them, they change. And just a quick basic, again, for anyone that's starting out, go to 2 to 3 body sessions per week. Progressive loading, that means you start really light and then build up to it. When we're talking about perfect form, where it means we're lowering the bar slowly, taking a little bit of a pause and then going up slowly. Okay. And what we're talking about, RPE, that's a rate of perceived exertion. 1 out of 10 is your intensity level. Like 1's the easiest, 10 is you're going to shit your pants. So try to keep your rate of perceived exertion around 7 or 9. Now, this is what I do in my, this is my, that was today of everything I do. And you see the little circles there with it 9, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 10, 9.8, 9.7. That's my RPE. I track that on each and every one of my lifts. And I'll go deeper into my lifting journal. But it is important to know because some days you're going to feel stronger than others. So tracking those, track them like you track your deposits inside the mail, inside your bank account, because those are building towards something, right? And finally, the fifth thing, lifting, it's going to reduce those depressive symptoms. Okay. So the thing is, going into the science, but before I even talk about that, like depression on the mental health side of things, from what I understand, what I've studied is when we have thoughts of depression, that is the thoughts of the past. When you're fully depressed is when you're ruminating on thoughts in the past. And typically when our thoughts shoot into the future, that causes anxiety. But as far as depression, we're thinking about past events. I could have, should have done this better. So when you're lifting weights, not only is that helping you physically here, but it's keeping your mind in the present moment. And there's no depression in the present moment when you're completely present with what you're doing. So into the science of it all, 33 random controlled trials show that resistance training significantly reduced depressive symptoms. Okay. So a lot of you that are pros out there are like, duh, right? So we get that gym high. Keep going. That should give you every reason to keep going, to pull your head out, right? And to feel better about yourself, to get stronger mentally, physically, emotionally, all those things. So again, simply put, lifting weights will help you feel better in your head. It'll make you'll think about future events and use your imagination in a way that sees you winning and that feeling of winning. And you see yourself winning out there, that fills you with good feelings, a feeling that you can tap into with your emotion. And that begins to start to shape your entire mental outlook. And the more that you can start to understand everything in your mental outlook and control your own mental landscape, the more that you can artistically design the life of your dreams and realize the person that you're meant to become. So lifting weights can help you feel better in your head, not just look better inside of the mirror. So it's a win-win-win-win-win. Think, Grow Rich. You guys heard that book before? This is a fantastic book talking about, mindset. And the author talks about the definiteness of purpose plus faith plus persistence. Those are the same inner gears that really build wealth for yourself. And it does the same thing for your health. And so it can build a life for you in your training. Purpose. You're going into the gym to master resistance, to push it, to get stronger. We need resistance. It's a sacred thing. And you have faith that is going to make you stronger, not just in the gym, but with your relationships, with you being a better partner and a dad and a businessman, if that's what you choose to have, a better persistence, seeing things through. The gym is it's a sacred area, right? Our training is sacred. So mood log and a training log too. So we often track our lifts. I know I do that too, but I also have been starting to keep track of my mood. So rate your mood. 1 being shit, 10 being out of sight. Wonderful. Log it before each session. See where you're at before your lift and then after. And that gives you the perfect data of what it's like for you to come through a session. Write it down in your journal. Mood might be a 1 and you push yourself through it a little bit. You might come out of it a 7. Like you're gonna improve. You're gonna feel better. So notice what starts to happen though once you start really loving the gym. So when you're at the gym, your mood might just naturally come up too, because you know that you're going to come through it and feel better. So just watch that pattern tighten. So you might be a 1 and a 10 when you're starting out, and you might be a 9 and a 10 once you really start going, because you know when you get in the gym, you're going to really absorb those good feelings, and that gives you a feeling of winning before you even begin to lift, right? So I'm going to roll this into my image framework. This is the framework I use with my coaching clients here too. And this is an acronym of understanding the whole thing, what that gives you everything, gives you meaning. Okay. Not just in the gym, but throughout your entire life. Number one is understanding your identity and understand who you are becoming. We're using our imagination to really help envision the man you want to become. And that man you want to become is already there. And to understand the power of the term I am, so you're going to understand your identity. We want to have fun with it, building that, see who you're becoming. The M is the metabolism. We've been talking a lot about that today. And in my channel, that's what we're talking about. That's your energy for life, but it comes from more than just food. It comes in your sleep, in the stress, your ability to manage that, your focus in your relationships. You've all felt that before, to where you're in a relationship that drains you versus a relationship that feeds your soul. I just recently got married to my partner, Adele, just my soulmate. I love her so much. And this is a commitment to excellence. And my relationship gives me strength and gives me energy. And I'd love to know how your relationships give you energy to help your metabolism. They make you want to go out and exercise and increase your metabolism and eat right and live a long time for your partner. So relationships are huge for your metabolism. Then we talk about your awareness. And again, I go back to Neville Goddard's work, and there's a lot of different books out there that, the old esoteric teachings of really understanding, the universal energy in the world too. And this is the power of building an awareness of your thoughts and your feelings and your emotions and how they really charge you. They can either zap your energy or fill you up. But we need to have an awareness of what we want to then embody it. Okay, so we're going to get deeper into our awareness. I want to know what you're aware of, how you see yourself, aware of where your energy leaks, where you gain energy. And then talking about the different goals and understanding your definite purpose, and use this lifter's roadmap to serve your life, not just the mirror. Okay, so that's so important. We need to know where we're going, right? So we need to have those goals set out for you, and gradual goals, nothing so much that it's super scary, but we need to put those down and then start taking action, and then embodying these practices, getting those daily reps inside your body, inside your behaviors with your significant other, with your kids, with yourself, more than anything, right? So the man you practice is the man you become. That's the framework right there to give you everything you need. Now, next steps from here. And if you're done with spinning your wheels and you want to get some traction, you want to really move into your life, strong, you might be feeling strong in the gym, might be stuck a little bit in life, but I'm telling you, I'm helping you build muscle with meaning. So book your free call. The link is in the description, and you and I, we're going to map your image and get you moving. And I want you to remember too, in closing, that it is never too late to make your mark upon the world. Thank you so much for being here. I appreciate you, my man. Thank you so much, and look forward to talking with you soon. Leave me some comments, and again, like and subscribe, and let's just keep building together, you and I. Sound good? Awesome.